What if I did the opposite? That's what we're finding out today in the video for the 4-Hour Workweek. So we're reviewing the 4-Hour Workweek. It's a book that I would recommend anyone starting a business read, or anyone who wants to improve their productivity, who wants to get more stuff done in less time. So we'll watch this video to the end and I'll give you essentially how the person watching today can improve their productivity and get more stuff done in less time. So right, what if I did the opposite? This is the cry from Tim Ferris to inspire a generation of entrepreneurs. And his book, it sold over 1 million copies, and I would highly recommend anyone reading it. So essentially, although it claims to be a kind of a get-rich-quick scheme, it's actually cleverly disguised as a productivity book. So why read this book? So first of all, get more done in less time. And essentially you can spend your time doing things that you want to be doing with your time, rather than working the 9 to 5, escape the 9 to 5, and you can actually spend your time doing things you actually want to do with your time. So this could be spending time with your friends, your family, starting a new business, doing something more meaningful. So essentially focusing on more meaningful tasks is not laziness, it's actually good productivity. So actually focusing on kind of more important things to cut out the less important things is actually good to do that, especially in today's world where we're busier than ever before. So essentially it's a lot to do with outsourcing the work that you don't necessarily kind of mundane tasks, and focusing on kind of creating value for other people. So what was the kind of the big aha moments? So I was talking about the 80-20 principle. This is one of the first times I read this book. I understood about the 80-20 principle, and this is essentially, it's called Pareto's principle, and it's the 80-20 principle, where 20% of the tasks you do create 80% of the results. So if you laser focus on what are the 20% tasks you're taking up most of your time, these are going to create 80% of the results. And focusing on the most important 20% of your day, or even investing, focus on the 20% of what you're investing in, is going to create 80% of the results. So the second thing that this book gave me was about learning about Stoic philosophy. So Stoic philosophy is kind of a Greek philosophy going back thousands of years, and it's essentially thinking, what if the worst thing happened now, what would be the worst case scenario? And it's always not as bad as we think. So we often kind of think that the worst things or even some small things can kind of throw a spanner in the works and kind of create havoc in our lives. But actually thinking about what is the worst thing that can happen in this moment, and if that does happen, then we can kind of ride it out and kind of work around it. So a good example from my business is the coronavirus at the moment. So I was going to do a workshop. I'm still planning to do a workshop, face-to-face investing accelerators, but this coronavirus maybe is going to put a spanner in this work. So essentially I thought, what else can I do to get around this? So I thought I'd do more online courses, or I'd do a few videos today. So that's essentially one of the reasons why I'm recording. So Stoic philosophy, what if the worst things can happen? Don't kind of stress out about it. The worst things in life can happen, but things still go on. So that's number 2. And number 3 was kind of a big mindset change, where talking about difference between absolute income and relative income. And an example of this is, say if someone's getting paid £100,000, but they're spending £90,000 of their money and only saving £10,000, where another person is earning £40,000, but they're only spending £20,000 and they're actually able to save £20,000. Who's earning more money? So essentially the second person would be earning more money, because he's actually getting that £20,000 home and saved, rather than spending the other person who's actually spending the £90,000. So that was kind of a big aha moment for me. And essentially it's also about outsourcing the stuff that you don't necessarily need to be doing, and in getting people in other parts of the world that you can actually get cheaper, get the same task done but for a cheaper price. So an example for me is I've got a board game that's coming out soon, and I had some trouble getting illustrators from in London. They were going to be, for what I wanted, were going to be super expensive. But I met this illustrator at the London Book Fair, and they managed to do the illustrations for my board game at a much better price, and actually gave. I'm much happier about the job that they did. So essentially, it's looking at where other people can do your work, to outsource the kind of the talent that other people have that can create a better kind of product at a lower price. So that was another thing. So essentially, how can the person at home kind of how can this book improve their lives? So it's about starting small and thinking big. It talks about creating demand is hard, whereas actually filling an already existing demand is actually much easier. So looking at pain points, looking at where people have problems and essentially solving those problems, and that's creating businesses around that. And also how to scale your business. So he talks a lot about the book having kind of scalable businesses where one person, or say one person buying a product is as much effort as 100 people buying that product. So it's amount of work having the infrastructure or the architecture in place that you can scale your business quicker. So an example is my book, Millennial Money Mindset. It's on Amazon. So for me, it's just as much work. I've written that book and it's on Amazon now. I've kind of done the work already. And for me, it doesn't, from a work point of view, it doesn't matter if 10 people buy the book or 100 people buy the book, because Amazon's doing that kind of, they're going to be sending those books to those people. So it's about having that kind of scalable infrastructure in place in your business, and that's going to save you a lot of time. And also, life is to be enjoyed. Life is for living. So it's about how you can spend your time focusing on the most important tasks, which frees up your time to actually go and enjoy your life, go and do things you always want to do. He talked about having mini retirements where he travels the world. He's lived in Japan, he's lived in South America, Argentina. He's kind of lived in these amazing countries, but he's kind of traveled and he's worked in these businesses kind of all around his own business all around the world. But it's essentially slowing down and appreciating life. And it doesn't mean accomplishing less. It means cutting out the kind of unproductive activities that you may do, the kind of mundane tasks, cutting those out so you can focus on more productive tasks. So who I recommend this book for? So anyone starting a business, I would say, it's kind of a must read for any business owner, and also anyone in a job, in a 9-to-5 job, who wants to get more stuff done in less time. It's although it kind of looks and almost comes across as a kind of a get-rich-quick scheme book, it's actually just a productivity book to get more stuff done in less time. So I would say it's maybe not as well written as other books. It did say he's kind of almost proud that it got rejected by a lot of publishers. It's maybe not as well written, but I would say there's so many big takeaways. I read this book almost every year. You can see it's kind of really well written, really well read, and I kind of highlight. You can see I kind of highlight it all, like go through a highlight pen and kind of take out the kind of key point to give you kind of the main takeaways. So this is the summarise 4-hour work week book review. Highly recommend it. This is Millennial Money Mindset. Please like, subscribe, and tell one person about this YouTube channel. We also have a podcast called Millennial Money Mindset. And thanks for joining us, and see you next time.